Good morning, everyone. It's 9th March 2017, and welcome to this edition of ProAMT Traders Digest. Let me go through the disclaimer first. Trading in stocks derivatives involves substantial risk of loss and not suitable for all investors. Past or simulated performance is not a guarantee of future results. All indicators, strategies shown in the video are for education purpose only. All levels discussed in this video are for understanding the study and not a recommendation to trade. Please consult your personal financial advisor before making any trade decision based on this video. We will not be responsible for any resulting profits or losses. So since 2 days, there was a balance and nothing much to talk about. And yesterday, a nice trending move went down, and so it was going back and forth into this balance. So it opened, tried to push higher, and then stayed within this balance. And C period broke down, effort to push back again into the value of the first two periods failed, and then a spike down, and again another spike down. Now one spike down, second spike down, we know that generally the move would end in the second spike. Now F period inside bar. Now when this inside bar was happening, there is not much of information here, but we had seen that how on the 1 minute chart we got a nice test, and then we get a confirmation when it crosses this F period high, and then one time framing up till the J period. Now mostly what will happen is the price action traders would be selling somewhere here and here, so all these visual levels all taken out in one go, and was not able to push into previous day's range, and most part of the day just rotated back and forth and created this nice balance. So today this balance would be important to see. Now in this course, this low is not that secured. It's kind of poor, but not at a important reference. So cannot like lean on that it's a poor low and it would travel back. It's not that case. We'll though keep it as a reference, and it's at a very important point that this long liquidation had failed, and it's taking support just from that breakout point. So any acceptance below this would put this rally into question in intermediate and short term. Now let's have a look at the 1 minute chart. So there was a balance here, and on the 1 minute, again a nice balance in the opening, creates a lower micro balance and then breaks down from that. This breakdown creates a balance. There is a small balance here for 5 minutes, again breaks down, again 5 minutes, and then finally a thrust down. Now after this thrust, a very nice test, but all no demands coming in when it goes higher. There is a no supply here, but that was broken and finally comes back down to test this lows. Now in this formation, what happened is we got higher lows on 1 minute, and again the same thing. If we draw this is a triangle and a breakout from that triangle, a channeled move up, and then breaks out from that channel. And this is an example. Till now we had been talking that if there is a channeled move and if it goes out of the channel and fails, then all the chances to revisit the lows. But here it broke out and never failed. So when it's not failing, uh, this is a live example that when it doesn't fail, the up it's a upsloping channel, and if the move doesn't fail, then creates a further move in the direction of the break. So that move happened, then again getting into balance. Now the reason to sell here was that after the spike the demand was dropping, and the expectation is to go into this visual level, because everyone would be looking at this. And still I was thinking that even if we get till here would be fine. So these are the likely targets to come, because this is a 50% of this bar, then the breakout point, and then the tip of this breakout bar. So that is how, like, generally people think. And because they want to execute orders there is a lot of liquidity lying there, the auction tends to just travel towards those points. Now on the 15-minute, there is no demand. When, see, here it's a hammer, so supply is being absorbed, but when it reaches the high there is no demand coming in. So when that is happening, the chances are that it would push through this low. Don't know where it would go, but would try to push through that low. So it pushes through that low, gives a spike, second spike, the move is over and everything is being absorbed. So we have a nice spike down and then absorption and a balance. A break from that balance fails, again creates that thrust. Now see, when the break from that balance fails, I'm looking at this, the center of this balance, the mid of this balance, is it holding or not? What happens is we get a no demand, but instantly we get a no supply. So when it's coming down, it's not getting supply. So the moment this no supply high is crossed, we would get a move. I would expect somewhere here initially, because that is very visual, where the people would be having the stop losses if they sold the breakdown. So it pushes through that with a thrust into the this zone, and then a nice balance, a nice sideways move with no supply coming when it pushes down. Now let's have a look at the Renko. So nice impulse down, pull back, impulse, pull back, impulse. Three impulses. The move is done. Maybe a bit bigger impulse, but that is done, and then we get a W. So a very classical pattern. So here it was confused till here, but then finally pushes into an impulse, comes back into the zipper, impulse, goes into a zipper. So here when this is happening, that means the likelihood is that we'll get a sideways move and not much of a trend, and settles at the volume based point of control. So now let's see what we can expect for today. Now, if we open somewhere into this, because this is a nice balance, and if we open somewhere into this, so we'll see two scenarios: opens, pushes higher, fails into the VPOC, comes back, tries to push back, and then continues its move down into the mid of this entire consolidation. So comes here, if it fetches demand, then pushes back and populates this area. In case it gets supply here, then push through this and reach into this 8890 zone. Now this is very important. If you see lot of consolidation here, So very important zone. If it accepts here, then the chances are that it would want to travel lower as well. If not today, then maybe in coming few days. Now the event is lined up, UP election results, and the participants are being cautious. But our job is to see how it might do. We need to be prepared for any move that might come. Now on the upside, if this pushes through this, comes back, tests the 8955, if it pushes through this, goes into this, comes back, tests, and then next time pushes into that zone and carries it move up towards 8995, and if it rejects somewhere from here, then also we would like start considering this entire move. And if it doesn't reject, then even push through this and seek higher levels. Now on the bank nifty, so almost all the activity is within the 2 day balance. There was a nice 2 day balance, failed to break the low of that balance. So it went down, failed in and inside bar. We know that where would it go? It would go to this fairest price. So it went there, comes back down to check that fairest price, and then continuously builds value higher. So the value is sitting here, the entire value sitting here. So we have kind of a double distribution with a nice prominent POC. We need to see if it's able to move away from this value and push through this and reach the 868 20,868 level. Or if it fails, then the first probe zone would be the mid of this. So there is a nice balance here, and this is the point of control. The software doesn't plot it, but it's a distinct balance. So if this is the balance, then this is a balance as well. Now on the 1 minute chart, we have a nice balance happening, and if you see, this is a triangle. So breakdown from that, a huge spike down. Now this spike would have created like this. After this spike, it might have halted but didn't halt. The move up into it was not able to push into this balance and came down. So it comes down, rotates, and finally drops supply completely. If you see, all the interest is lost below this low. So when it's lost, we need to see if we get any no demands coming into these lows. So when no demand comes into this spike low, so see how the no demand is coming, and once through that, then the chances are higher that we'll visit the scene of crime. So it has fallen emotionally from there, might visit the scene of crime. Now, how, when, we don't know. It is just that normal. This is the way a normal auction would behave. So we would start thinking like that. Is not necessary that it would do within the day. This happened is a different thing, but not a compulsion that it will happen during the day. So finally, that happens, and if see here on the 30 minute, we get this huge HVN, and that means either it will the move will stop with a gradation like this or a HVN like this. So the move gets halted, comes back down to the 50% of this breakout. So this is very visual. We can see, if you measure this, this would be around 50%. Comes there, creates a balance, drops supply, and again starts its move higher. So on the 15-minute, a nice compression happening here. The buyers running to buy. They were left out. They have a feeling that okay, this high is gone. Let's run and buy, and that is where they get stuck. So a failure above this high creates a balance. No demand. See a classic no demand on 15-minute. Breaks that no demand low is a nice sell opportunity. So the stop loss is very near and the chances are high of a fall. So finally falls down. First thrust, second thrust doesn't happen. This turns out to be the second thrust and almost the move is over. Then we get a no demand, a no supply. So this bars, when this is crossed, is a sign that it might go into the scene of crime. Finally reaches there, pushes through the fair price with a nice up thrust and comes back to test this bar. So is this breakout true or not? So comes back to test there and gets no supply here, continues its move higher. So a very methodical and very nice way it has auction. Like this at times like gets quite easy to play. Let's see what we have on the Renko. So Narenko tried to push up failure. So a failure through this zipper is a sign that it might go lower. So impulse pull back, impulse pull back, impulse pull back, impulse. So this goes on, goes on. We would now see this is happening in on the 120 tick. But if we change the tick size, it's like this is one impulse, pull back, another impulse, pull back, and another impulse. This impulse falls short, goes higher, and when we get this zipper, a break above that zipper, we expect another impulse into the mid. So that impulse happens, but pushes through the mid into the upper balance. And finally, again, fails there, comes back down, is not able to get anything here. The weekly VWAP and the SAR level, and again makes its way up in an impulse pullback. Now this pullback is bad. Here I would have got scared because if it's pushing through this, that means it might carry a impulsive move down, but it carried its move up. So if you again see the harmonic, this is A B C D, and otherwise it's like impulse pullback impulse. So what we can expect today is we are getting this. There is a failure here, but this much failure is not good enough. So the markets don't feel like that because everybody would know that it is failing. So let's draw two lines too. So suppose if it pushes through here and comes back down and makes its way higher into the 2860 and maybe even higher than that if it gets acceptance there. On the low side, suppose if it goes here and breaks down, comes back up into this HVN, goes into this LVN, can again push back and continue its move like this. So we might get an inverted head and shoulders and continue its move like this, or come here, bounce, give another bounce and then fail. So in a head and shoulder, maybe go into this lower balance first and then there decide where it wants to go. Otherwise, carry its move down again into this. So that is the likely scenario, but I would be looking like this is a nice the day mid, though it's a day time frame reference, but a nice LV in there. So we would look what it's doing because see it's almost separating this balance with this upper balance. So we'll have to look what it does in that zone. Depending on that, we might get a chance to create some positions for intraday. So that's it for today, and have a profitable trading day ahead. And thanks for watching.